Alright, so we're looking at string shape to cage and cage to string shape. Okay, we did in the first segment, we did cage to string shape. Okay, some of these circles are pretty involved, and if I haven't wrapped my head around it, I don't want to try and discuss it because we could get a little confused, like last segment when I thought this was the circle of fifths. It isn't. This goes CAG. This goes CGD. You see, because this is the circle of +2. That should be called the circle of +2. So it's every other string, and that's the way it works. So to go to string shape to cage, so your string shape, again, you're playing a little solo, and you have a string shape. You know what it is. You know what it is. What string is it? What string shape is it? Okay, so say we're on this E here. E string shape, 7√2. In the key of C, it'd be B, C, D. Okay, this is an E string shape. Why? Because the A shape, the E shape C up here is in the E cage. Okay, so that's why the E string shape. And we do everything in caged, we do it in the key of C, so the E string shape is 7√2. It does have the root there. So string 3, if that string shape's on string 4, rather, the next pentatonic letter from the string shape, so E goes where? E goes to G in the pentatonic scale. So it would be the G cage. Okay, let's... Okay. Now, the same thing with the if you're doing a string shape from the third, say you're doing on the third, you're doing a C string shape here. So you want to know, what cage am I in? I know that I'm on C string shape because I just didn't, you know, in my case, you can alias a C with its fourth. The fourth of C is the E string shape. That would be the string below with its string shape fourth. So there are aliases here. If that sounds good with the music you're playing to, then you've got an E and a C there. So you know you're on the C string shape. You know you're on the third string. According to the formula here, next cage letter from the string shape. So the C, next cage letter in C is A, you're in the A cage. Okay, so that's how that works. You kind of have to move along here a little bit. Now that's method 1. Method 2, now remember from the last lesson, we covered some of this. We covered the vice of this one and the versa of that one, and maybe both of them on one of them. But I've filled in the gaps for total from cage to string shape to cage. Method 2, ID the string shape, advance up in strings is clockwise. So if you're on a C string shape, the next string up from the bottom is going to be a G string shape. Down is counterclockwise. So if you got a C string shape on the top string, you know, the high E string, high E. Alright, then the next string down is going to be the E string shape. Alias right there. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Is we're doing string shape to cage. So what cage are we in? Okay, it says advance up to the cage. So, you know, on string 1, obviously, string 1 and 6, we know what cage we're in. We're in the same cage as the string shape. But say we're on an A string shape on the third string from the top. Here's an A string shape. It's saying advance that A. So we go A to E to C. Up, I'm in the C cage. That's how that works. Okay, now the opposite is, set cage equals string 1 and 6, starting letter equals the starting letter. So we want to go cage to the string shape now. So we already know what cage we're in. So let's say we're in the A cage. It's got a C-shaped A-shaped C, sorry, D-shaped F, and it's got a G-shaped, an E-shaped G. Okay? So we want to go cage to the string shape. So we know we're in the A cage already. Alright, so it's string 1 and 6 equals the starting letter. Okay, so we're in the A cage, so it's A is the starting letter. Count forward for each string from string 1. Okay, so that's pretty easy. It's straightforward. So if we've got A here, the third string up, so this is string 0, string 1, string 2, the third string up is the C string shape. So here it is, third string. That's how you do it. And then if you got C from the top, A from the top, you're in the A box. Go the other way in string shape fourth, so third string from the bottom would be an A shape. Okay, starting from the A rather, third string from the bottom would be a G string shape. So it would be fourth of A is, let's see, I'm going to do cage backwards. So the fourth of A is D. Okay, the fourth of D is G. So it'd be a G string shape right there, the cursor's on it. So there are different ways to count like that. We'll finish this chart as quickly as we can. What's up top? You know, again, the string shapes, it's easy. Right here we got the C string shapes 3, 4, 5, the A is 5, 6, the G is 6, 7 root, the E is root 2, 3, and the D is 2, 3, 4. So it's like a cage system there. Okay, now the cage shape modulation method, we've talked so much about this, I feel like we don't have to cover this. The only difference is string shape to cage is important enough just to mention. So if you start a G string, if you start a G shape, now remember the G shape is already pattern modulated on the B string. Okay, so you start that same pattern modulated G shape from the third string, it'll double modulate into an E string, and that'll be your cage. So let's see a G shape in the key is it's going to be 6, 7 root, third string in the key is C. Okay, so here's your G shape. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just play it and let it remodulate. Okay, so remember, let's look at the G shape itself. Okay, right here. The patterns that we have here is an S5G, but then we have to modulate that S5G up 1 for the tuning warp here. Now we're going to do it one more time. Okay, so it's going to be, did I do I did a diatonic. Okay, so you can still do it with diatonic. Okay, so it was G shape. Okay, goes to D shape, goes to A shape. So we've modulated it goes to E shape. We've modulated into the E box. That's how that works. It's just a double modulation of the regular patterns. What are the regular patterns? You can look at them in D. Down here, it's just 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. And then on top of 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, let's say we've got this root 2 right here. You've got 3, 5, 6, root. So that's the pattern. And then you modulate that into the cages and then remodulate it if you start those cages from any of the strings. That's how this go from string shape to cage. So you're starting from a string shape, let's say G shape on the, it would be 6, G shape on the third string,